Imagine waking up tomorrow and nothing can break you. Not the rejection, not the failure, not the criticism from people who don't even know your story. You stand like an oak tree in a hurricane, roots deep, unshaken, while everything around you is chaos. That's not motivation, my friend. That's mental resilience forged through ancient wisdom. And today I'm going to show you exactly how the Stoics built that kind of unbreakable mind, using 10 rules that have stood the test of 2,000 years. This isn't about feeling good for 5 minutes. This is about becoming someone who cannot be destroyed by life's punches. Let's start with the first rule, and it's the one most people get completely wrong. Stop waiting for life to be fair. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, wrote in his journal that when you wake up, remind yourself that you will meet difficult people, ungrateful people, people who lie and cheat. He wasn't being pessimistic, he was being prepared. The moment you stop expecting the world to treat you fairly is the moment you gain real power. Because now you're not a victim of circumstances, you're a warrior who knows the battlefield. Every time something unfair happens and you don't fall apart, you're building resilience like lifting weights builds muscle. The unfairness is the weight, your response is the rep. Now here's the second rule, and this one will change everything if you let it. Separate what you control from what you don't. Epictetus, who was once a slave, taught that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgment about those events. Think about that. You don't control if you get fired, but you control how you respond. You don't control if someone betrays you, but you control whether you let it poison your future. The Stoics drew a clear line. On one side, your actions, your thoughts, your character. On the other side, everything else. Spend your energy only on your side of the line. When you master this, anxiety drops like a stone because you're no longer fighting battles you can't win. Third rule, and listen carefully because this is where most people break. Treat discomfort as your teacher. We live in a world that tells you to avoid pain, seek comfort, make everything easy. The Stoics did the opposite. Seneca would deliberately sleep on a hard floor, eat simple food, practice poverty for a few days to remind himself he could survive it. Why? Because when you voluntarily face small discomforts, big discomforts don't shatter you. Your mind learns that discomfort is not danger. It's just discomfort. Next time you want to skip the workout, remember this. Next time you want to avoid the hard conversation, remember this. Resilience is built in the small moments when you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. The fourth rule is about perspective, and it's brutal but beautiful. Remember you're going to die. The Stoics call this Memento Mori. Before you think that's dark, understand what it actually does. When you remember that your time is limited, the small stuff stops mattering. That argument with your coworker? Irrelevant. That embarrassing moment last week? Forgotten dust. Death is not the enemy, it's the ultimate perspective giver. Marcus Aurelius would visualize his own death regularly, not to be morbid, but to stay focused on what truly matters. When you live like you might not have tomorrow, you stop wasting today on things that don't build you up. Fifth rule, and this one is pure gold. Define yourself by your actions, not your feelings. How many times have you heard someone say they don't feel motivated? The Stoics would laugh at that. Feelings are weather, they change. Actions are architecture, they build. You don't need to feel brave to act bravely. You don't need to feel confident to do the work. You do the work and confidence follows. This is the secret that separates the strong from the weak. Weak people wait to feel right. Strong people act right, regardless of feeling. Your character is not what you feel in your heart. It's what you do with your hands. Rule number 6 is about judgment, and it's a game changer. Don't label things as good or bad too quickly. A Stoic sees an event and pauses before reacting. You lost your job. Is that bad? Maybe it's the push you needed to start that business. You got rejected. Is that bad? Maybe you just avoided wasting years with the wrong person. The Stoics taught that most things in life are neutral. It's our judgment that makes them good or bad. When you stop rushing to label everything, you stop riding the emotional roller coaster. You become steady. You become wise. You start seeing opportunities where others see only obstacles. Seventh rule, and this is where your relationships transform. Accept people as they are, not as you wish they were. Marcus Aurelius knew that people will disappoint you. They'll act in their own interest. They'll be irrational. And he chose to accept that without bitterness. Not because he was weak, but because expecting people to be perfect is insanity. When you accept that your colleague might be lazy, your friend might be flaky, your family might be difficult, you stop being surprised and hurt every time they act according to their nature. This doesn't mean you tolerate abuse. It means you see reality clearly and make decisions from that clarity, not from fantasy about who people should be. Here's the eighth rule, and it's powerful. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Stoics believe you should do your best and then let go of the results. You can't control if your business succeeds, but you can control your effort. You can't control if people like you, but you can control your integrity. This is freedom. When your peace of mind depends only on things within your control, no external force can steal it. You become like water. You keep flowing regardless of the obstacles. The outcome-obsessed person is always anxious, always stressed, always one failure away from collapse. The process-focused person is already winning because they're becoming better every single day. Rule number 9 is the daily practice that ties everything together. Review your day every night. Seneca would ask himself each evening, what bad habit did I fight today? What temptation did I resist? Where did I fail? Where did I succeed? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about conscious growth. You can't improve what you don't examine. 5 minutes before sleep, replay your day. Notice where you were weak. Notice where you were strong. Plan to be better tomorrow. This simple practice compounds. In a year, you'll be unrecognizable. Not because of one big change, but because of hundreds of small corrections. And finally, the 10th rule that makes all the others possible. Train your mind like you train your body. The Stoics didn't just read philosophy, they practiced it daily. They used negative visualization, imagining loss to appreciate what they have. They used voluntary discomfort to build toughness. They wrote journals to clarify thinking. Your mind is the foundation of everything. If it's weak, everything built on it will crumble. If it's strong, you can weather any storm. Start small. Spend 10 minutes in silence each morning. Write 3 things you're grateful for. Read Stoic texts for 15 minutes before bed. These aren't just habits, they're mental weightlifting. And just like physical training, the results are undeniable. So here's the truth that nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. Mental resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you forge. Every single day, in every small decision. When you choose discipline over comfort, when you choose truth over pleasant lies, when you choose growth over stagnation. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They were humans who decided to build themselves into something stronger than their circumstances. And you can do the same, starting right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. If this resonated with you, if you felt something shift inside while listening, drop a comment below and tell me which of these 10 rules hit you the hardest. And share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's struggling, someone who's forgotten their own strength. Because mental resilience spreads. When you become stronger, you give others permission to become stronger too. That's how we build a generation that can't be broken. One person, one practice, one day at a time. Now go out there and forge yourself into something unshakable.